Hello, it's Lloyd MPI back with another video, and today we're talking Zilliqa again. So this is a part 2 to my previous video which I did a couple of days ago regarding avoiding the lockup period when you're staking your Zilliqa. I'll put that video up in the card, so you should see it up above on top of the screen now. So just to give a quick overview, when you stake your Zilliqa, when you want to unstake it and you want to sell it, for example, or trade it for another token, when you stake on a normal staking node, as you would quote unquote normally, there's a 14-day delay between you pressing unstake and you actually getting that Zilliqa into your wallet. And I'd found a solution, a way around that, using cx.io, which is an exchange. And what they do is they let you put your Zilliqa in your wallet. They will give you your staking rewards monthly, but your stake Zilliqa isn't locked. You can trade it, sell it at any point in time with no unlocking period. So cx.io is, here it is. This is the website. This is their staking website. And here you go. As you can see, 17% returns they give you, a bit higher than the 15.6. And as I noted in that video, they don't give you GZIL. So that's the downside to this. So what you get is liquidity. So you're able to trade, sell your cryptocurrency, your ZIL, whenever you want without waiting 14 days. They give you a slightly higher than average return of 17%, but you don't get your GZIL. And I suspect they're giving you this higher estimated annual yield because they're not giving you your GZIL. And one of the key comments was, well, this isn't a good, this isn't a good opportunity cost. Having added liquidity is not worth losing the GZIL, because GZIL essentially doubles your APY. So in this video, I want to actually go through that, go through the maths of it. So I want to jump over to the Excel and I want to show you through, an example of a deposited amount of ZIL, how much you would make with the GZIL, how much you on a normal staking node, how much you would make staking it on cx.io at 17%, and then you can work out whether the liquidity is worth the difference in the equivalent APY. So here is my simple interest and compound interest calculator, and this is what we're going to use to start modeling the different rates of return you're going to get from the Zilliqa rewards and from the normal staking rewards, and obviously we're going to add in the difference in the GZIL. So work with me on this one. What I'm going to do initially is I'm going to work on the modeling for staking on a normal node, getting 15% APY and getting your 1 GZIL for every 1,000 ZIL that you claim in rewards. All right, so we're going to start with initial investment of 100,000. So 100,000 Zilliqa is what we're going to be depositing into the contract. And then the next step will be to calculate that I'm going to be claiming my rewards on a monthly basis to compound that growth, which is realistic. So what I need to do, I need to convert that APY, that 15% APY, into a monthly equivalent. So we're going to take that and divide that by 12. And that gives us 12.5%, sorry, 1.25%. There we go. So that means that the equivalent is 1.25% monthly. So we should turn that into 1.25%. There we go. And to make sure that we can see that there we go. So now my compound interest calculator is compounding monthly. My period is monthly now, and at 1.25% per month. So that means that I'm earning in my first month 1,250 ZIL in rewards. And then I said we add that on to the balance, and then now we earn interest on the new balance, so that increment increases. What we also need to factor in is the GZIL. So what I will do is I'll add a new column here just for the GZIL. So I'll add a GZIL column. And what we know is that for every 1,000 ZIL that we claim, we get 1 GZIL. So that means what we need to do is divide that by 1,000. And let me add decimal points to that. There we go. And this gives me the amount of GZIL I will be getting, because every time I earn my interest or my free ZIL for staking. I'm going to claim that and then restake it. So this gives us a total for each month of how much GZIL I will have earned, as you can see here. The other thing we need to do is we need to work out how much ZIL is that worth. So what is the ZIL equivalent? So what I'll do is I'm going to jump quickly onto ZIL swap, and here we go, GZIL ZIL, and just work out what the exchange rate is. And actually at the bottom here it gives me the exchange rate. So it says that 1 ZIL is 1,315 ZIL. So I'm going to go back to the Excel. 1,315 is the exchange rate. So I need to multiply my GZIL by the exchange rate to work out my ZIL equivalent. So 1 GZIL is equal to 1,315 ZIL. So I take my GZIL, I then multiply that by 1,315. I need to add in my dollar signs to fix the formula when I drag it down. Excellent. So now, as you can see here, this is the ZIL equivalent of all the GZIL I've been rewarded at the current exchange rate. So the final amount here for staking on a node, excluding GZIL, for 100,000 ZIL initial investment is 116,075 ZIL. That is monthly compounding at a 15% equivalent APY or a 1.25% equivalent monthly yield. We then need to add all the GZIL that we have actually been rewarded for each claim we made over that period. And that there is 21,139. So if we add that up, we shall sum both of these. And we ended up getting 137,215 ZIL. So as you can see, we started off with 100,000 ZIL and we ended up with 137,215. So what is that as a percentage? So we actually increased our ZIL by 137,215, and we're going to divide that by the original 100,000 we invested to get a percentage. So let me just put an equal sign there, and then put the percentage. So that is a 37% return. So let's just go through the assumptions here. A 100,000 ZIL initial investment, a 15% APY, and we calculate that equivalent to be a 1.25% monthly return. The conversion between GZIL and ZIL of 1 GZIL being worth 1,315 ZIL. And monthly restaking. So given that, we make a 37% equivalent APY. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what this number looks like doing it on cx.io. We can compare and contrast. So here I have my calculator back again, and this time we're looking at the cx.io equivalent. So as we know, cx.io give you 17% APY on your staked ZIL. However, no GZIL. So we're going to do the calculation again based on the new the CX model, cx.io. So what we need to do is we have the 17% APY, but what we're going to do, we're going to calculate the monthly equivalent of that. So we'll take the 17% And then what we should do is we should divide that by 12 to get the monthly calculation, right? So here we are. So 1.42%. So you get 1.42% a month. So what I will do is I'll update this APY with 1.42. So now what this is doing is my compounding period is now monthly, because this is the equivalent monthly return of 1.4%, 1.42%. So now we have the new figures. So if we compare that quickly to what we had before, we'll make it 1.25% on a normal staking node. So what difference does that make to my calculations? So as we can see here, it's much simpler because we don't have to calculate any GZIL and convert it back to ZIL. What we can do is we can simply use the calculator as is. So we have a 100,000 initial ZIL investment. We are making 1.42% per month. So therefore, in the first month, I earn 1,420 ZIL. I then claim that. I don't get any GZIL, unfortunately. And then I stick it back into my interest-bearing ZIL account. And then I now make a return on that new balance. So as you can see here, the interest compounds, and compound interest does its thing and makes us a lot of money. So long story short, we end up with a total of 118,736 ZIL at the end of the 12 months. So let's work that out as a percentage. So that means that what was earned was 18,436. So that's how much ZIL I earned. And my initial investment was 100,000 ZIL. There we go. Which means a return of 18% was made. So there we have it. We have a 37% return when you get your GZIL, and you get an 18% return when you don't get your GZIL. And this is based on compounding monthly. So once a month, taking out your claims and then restaking those. That's a big difference. That's double the APY. Now, what you have to factor in is that the advantage of CX.io is liquidity. You're able to sell and buy and trade your ZIL Zilliqa whenever you want. Is that worth half the APY? That's up to you. Some would say, I believe in ZIL long term. I'd much rather the 37%. The higher return, it just makes more sense. The other factor to factor in is that, is GZIL actually going to grow in value and actually be worth more than 1,315 ZIL? Will it be worth 5,000 ZIL in the future? So, you're diversifying your portfolio. You have GZIL rather than ZIL. So, and given the scarcity of GZIL, watch my GZIL video if you haven't yet. There's potential that GZIL could be worth a lot more in the future. So are you kind of giving up the opportunity cost? And here we're only making 18%. Now, my strategy is I have 75% of my portfolio compounding normally on a normal node, and I have 25% on CX.io. And what I've said is that I'm happy to lose out on the GZIL, make a slightly smaller return, but I have a portion of my portfolio liquid to me, where I'm able to sell it if I need it, or if there's a crazy increase in the price of Zilliqa and I think I need to cash out and cash in any profits I have made. But here is just an example. I wanted to, it was a great comment I saw saying that, the GZIL was worth quite a lot, and actually that GZIL AP, once you include the GZIL in your APY calculations, it makes no sense to use CX.io. And for some, that will be true. But let's not forget the fact that you're liquid on CX.io. And as I said, I have a 75-25. I have 25% of my portfolio on CX.io, and some people aren't comfortable having their coins locked away for 14 days when they want to unstake it. But as we can see here, clearly you're making double the returns. Double. So for a lot of people, that's it, sold. I'm making double, I'm doing it there, and if it takes 14 days to unstake it, so be it. I'm doing a bit of both, so I'm kind of hedged either way. I hope you enjoyed. I know it was a bit more of a technical kind of, digging deep into the analysis and numbers video, but I think it's good to see, and good to kind of get into the granularity of it all, so we can maximize our returns and do what we're comfortable with. So thanks a lot for watching. Please like and subscribe. It's LexMPI, ending another video.